Hello, hello, everyone, please give me your attention. Everyone, Joe, close the door. Please come inside. All the men, please have a seat. There's plenty of seats here, all around. I like that. Yeah, I get. Thank you for coming. Everyone, please have a seat. Ralph, Honika, right there. Yeah. Mark, put your father down. Let your father down. Come on. Mark, sit down. Have a seat. Come have a seat. There's plenty of seats right here. I wanna begin with thanking the rabbis. It's our privilege and honor to have the rabbis here in our house again. Torah Umesorah, for everyone, I mean, everybody knows Torah Umesorah, but like Rabbi Yedid said, and Rabbi Eli Mansour on the video the other day, said that today Torah Umesorah is helping all the schools in the United States, all the yeshivas in the United States, with everything that they need. Um, it's our honor to have them again. Rabbi Ozeri is going to speak for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to get berachot from the rabbis.
Good Erev Shabbat to everybody. Rabotai, I don't know how we do this every year. The chutzpah, the nerve, the gall to schlep the gedolim here every year, year in and then a year out. Obviously, it's a magen for us. It's a protection for us that they come to deal mechila from all the gedolim that we ask you to come here. We should be doing this on our own without having to bother the Rashi Yeshivot. But every year the Rashi Yeshivot come. If they come, if the Rashi Yeshivot come, that means that this is something extremely important. Torah Umesorah is something extremely important. I was mehaneh from Torah Umesorah when I was a little boy. I'm sure every... Huh? Yeah, 65. Danny Surah too. 65 years ago, we remember the sheets, the big posters on the walls, the curriculums, everything else. They're doing this for at least 65 years, more. 80 years. 80. Well, we're only 65 years of it. Okay, 80 years they are doing this, and they just get stronger and stronger, and building more and more day schools all over the country. There's no words. There's no words to say what it means to support Torah Umesorah. It's Erev Shabbat. The hour is late, and we hope we're going to hear some Divrei Torah from the Rashi Yeshivot. We Shiva. Kasha.
Me? Okay. No. Baruch Hashem, I mean, you all know what you're here for. And basically, I'm here when we traveled around some of the houses. Baruch Hashem, the houses show pretty good. And yet, one of the requests I keep hearing is panosa. People need it. I'm looking at it, I think, I should walk in here and probably, just hold out my hand, I get a check for $1 million. But somehow that's not what's happening. So I think from this week's Seder, we can learn how you're supposed to be mispalo. And that's the important, maybe that's the whole difference, really. It says when the Canaanim came, after the Yanana COVID went away, so the Canaanim came. So there was really Amalekim, Rashi says, dressed as Canaanim, or speaking Canaanim, or whatever it was, but somehow to confuse the Yidden. What are you confusing me? You're confusing me because I'm afraid if I'm going to mispalo for the Amalekim to go, that was what I have to be spelled for, but I wouldn't know about it because I'm going to be spelled for the Canaanim. And somehow it wouldn't work. Something like that. That was their idea. So the Yidden claims whoever it is, That's it. So in other words, we learn out from here, the best defense is to ask, I mean, your hands, God. You're the one that's running the show. You're the one that knows what he's doing. And it's yours. So please, give me panos. Now, the question I think we learned from here, now go to Mei Meriva. What was the chet of Mei Meriva? You're not allowed to test God like you tested him in Mei Meriva. Who was testing God? We asked for water. That's all we asked for. It's a natural thing. The thing is, should you be asking for water, you should be asking for hydration. It's not water that I need hydration. Now, it can be natural. You can give it to me that nothing affects me. Okay, that's a mess. Give me orange juice. I don't care what you give me. It doesn't have to be water. But when you ask for something specific, that makes it a test. Let's see if God can produce. I want to see. That you're not allowed to do. See, my father once told me that even a guy who needs panos, and he's going for an interview at a place that's a good chance to get the job, he shouldn't be mispal, God, give me this job. He should mispal, give me panos. I don't care how he is. Now, you want another thing. I don't want to look like a fool when I come in for an interview. Me mispal, don't make me look like a fool. I want to do well in the interview. But that doesn't mean my panosa has to come from the interview. That's the main part. And if we remember that the atzlocha is in God's hands, and he can send it any way he wants. We can work here, but the atzlocha will come from there. That's all we have to keep in mind. I mean, that's Hashem, the bench should pay us in this all. The panosa we need, and as I say, in the organization we're working for also should come that way. But it should come from the ones we're expecting it from also. That's Hashem. That's all.
Mishus the Rabbanim, Mishus the host, Mishus all the Ne'asafim, everyone that gathered together for this heilige cause, this holy cause. The Pasuk tells us, Umi midbar matana. The Gemara tells us that if someone is oisa atzmai kemidbar, is Torah nitenes loy b'matana. That means if he's learning it in order to teach others, then the Eibshter will give him Torah. My grandfather's Masber in the Mishas Sabaran, he explains, the idea is like this. It's not, if you're going to give it, so I'll give it to you. It's that Hashem gives Torah to Klal Yisrael. Klal Yisrael, Torah is a nachlas haklal. Torah is Torah Tzivalana Moshe Merash Kilis Yankiv. It belongs to all of Klal Yisrael. He doesn't give Torah to a Yochid, to Reuven, to Shimon. He gives Torah to Klal Yisrael. If you're learning it for Klal Yisrael, you're ready to teach it to others, bechinam. You're ready to teach others, bechlal, or you make yourself ofesh hakodashim all over two Gemaras. That means you're learning it not for yourself, you're learning it for Klal Yisrael. The Klal Yisrael should have more Torah. So then the Rebbe says, okay, you're a good kli, you're a good person to giving Torah to Klal Yisrael. By giving it to you, I'm giving it to Klal Yisrael. And the Torah that you learn belongs to Klal Yisrael. Each one is a chroi, each Yid is a chroi on the Torah of Klal Yisrael. It's not only, because even if he only has his own Torah, it's not his, it's Klal Yisrael's Torah. It's a chroi, that's his achrayis. And the person, if he shows that he feels an achrayis for the Torah of Klal Yisrael, so the Rebbe gives him Torah. What could be a bigger bracha than the Rebbe giving him Torah? Because he's showing that he is a chroi for the Torah of Klal Yisrael. He's responsible for the continuation of Torah in Klal Yisrael. Torah Umesorah is an organization that's to ensure the continuity of Torah in Klal Yisrael. Every school, every mosid should be run right, should teach right hashkafas, should teach right materials, and be on top of every mosid to help build mosidis where there is no mosidis. Even make koilim when there's no koilim, to pick up that Klal Yisrael should be an Amma Torah, should be a Klal Yisrael Torah. And if we feel that Klal is for Klal Yisrael's Torah, it only comes back to us that we should have the biggest brachas in the world. We should see the simchas. We should see bracha in our homes. We should see our children going to Mincha Chamim. We ourselves should go to Torah. We can say, no one should give up, become to Mincha Chamim. And we should have all the brachas of Baruch Hashem Yaakov Divrei Torah Hazais. And we should all see together the time of Bizgal Tzedek, when it'll be Malach Haaretz Deis Hashem Kimayim Niyam Mechasim Meir.
There's really not much to add after the Gedolim said what they said. I just had a thought. Torah Umesorah today is about approximately 80 years old. The vision of Torah Umesorah that the great Gadol, the Rosh Yeshiva's grandfather, Reb Aaron Zatzal, also the famous Reb Shraga Feivel Mendelwitz Zatzal, and other Gedolim at that time had a vision. America was a barren country. There was maybe a handful of yeshivas in the city of New York, but really nothing. America was barren of Torah. There were no real day schools over the country. There were no yeshiva katanas. And they had a vision that from coast to coast, there's going to be Torah. There's going to be Torah in every city. There's going to be Torah in every town. And their vision was Niskayim. We have today, Torah Umesorah covers the entire continent. From every place where there's a city with a reasonable amount of Jews, there's a day school. There's Yeshiva Katana, there's Kolalim. The same feelings that you have here in your community, that vision was Niskayim in Torah Umesorah. And your community also is a community that vision has built it. Visionaries have built it. The rabbis that started with a small nucleus of people learning with them Torah, Chacham Yosef, Rabbi Yedid, all the different rabbis in Brooklyn, Rabbi Diamond, tremendous what Rabbi Diamond did. He's a Talmud of our Rosh Yeshiva of Shnei. And it's incredible. Rabbi Haber, what he did. It's so many different, but a vision of a Yachid. Look what it could mushroom into. So I think this week's Parsha says a little thing about visionaries. The Gemara says in Baba Basra, Ki eish yotzeis mecheshbon, teitzei eish memechashvim, v'tochal et eino mechashvim. And the Rashbam says on the Gemara that we all know there's another Gemara in Baba Basra of when in the other world, kol echad nichve mechupasei shel chaveroi. Every person has a chuppah in the world to come. And it's going to be very painful for somebody whose chuppah is relatively modest to have a neighbor and a friend who did his thing in a way that he has a larger chuppah. And Rashbam explains that the size of the chuppah, the greatness of the Olam Haba, depends on the level of a mechashbim. If a person is a visionary, if a person thinks, what could I do? Hashem gave me parnasa. What could I do with my parnasa? What impact could I have with my parnasa? How could I help Hashem's children? How could I help Am Yisrael? Teitzei eish mechashvim v'tochal etz eina mechashvim. All the great things we have is because there were individuals in an earlier generation that was a mechashev. They thought, they schemed schemes. What could help Am Yisrael? And the entire Syrian community has become blessed into such an incredible world of Torah and Yiddishkeit and Avodat Hashem, all because of great people that were mechashvim. Each and every one of us has that potential to give a thought. If there's a Shabbos of Torah Umesorah, let's think about what is Torah Umesorah. What does it do? How could I, in my way, contribute to Torah Umesorah's successes and the ripple effects of those successes? And we should be zocher. Ke'esh yotzes mecheshbon. And it should be, all of us should be yotze to zoiche to the greatest chuppah. And we should always zoiche to all the schar. Peroseim be'elu dvorim she'adam oichel peroseim be'olam hazeh v'akeren kayemet lo'olam haba.
Should whatever Rabotai, I like the way the Governor of Bazari presented the fact we are bothering the Gdoilim in this time on Rav Shabbat. It reminds me something that after the Holocaust, there was one of the Gdoilim, he was caring about those orphans that was lost among the Goyim. There was a big shazam pikuach nefesh, and he happened to call a gvir in London on Shabbos. So to a Rebbe, what do you have to call on Shabbos? You can call for the Shabbos. He said, I wouldn't call on Shabbos, you wouldn't understand, it's pikuach nefesh. Same dimension now. You have to understand, we're dealing with chinuch, mamash asid shel Yisrael. The way I perceived the Torah Umesorah, at the beginning I thought it was like today, we have all kind of appliance. Without accessories, almost nothing. We need everything you need to have accessories to be able to activate and to use them. The chinuch with our Torah Umesorah is mamash completely empty. It's taken the main part of the chinuch, but in fact, the second thought is even more than that. It's like a special cooker, a chef in a hotel. He's not here to peeling the apples and to cleaning, to give the right exactly that will give the real taste and the real value of the food. In fact, Torah Umesorah has taken this exclusivity to be giving the way in every mean, and we need so much, so many challenges today. I don't like to speak just for speaking. I just want to say something practical. Today, if everywhere we're difficulties in controlling and being with our kids, by the way, the best is mamash to invest in extent to be the best friend of your kid. That's what I did. All my kids are my best friend. I'm the first to know everything from ever. If there is something I'm the first to know. From age 0 to now they're married. Oh, I pay for that now. They're married, they're still coming to me, but I'm ready to have that. But in our case, very far from that. They're too much disconnected from the kids. You have to be much more involved. You're more watching from the side. It's not right. And you give too much tolerance to the kid to decide for themselves. It's not true. I will just give you an example. I say, the renowned situation when parents feel powerless, when their kids are strong, they know what they want, and they have some physical koyach, and the wicked woman, how can I get bondage? It's crucial to have red lines, but they do whatever they want. I can't. He does whatever he wants. You have to know there is a formula, an approach that can be helpful to everyone. Everyone has special koichos. How do you know that? If the kid comes with a nail going to the electricity, would you reach him? Never. If he's going around with a big knife, he won't stay more a few seconds maybe. Every time you decide something, you have to think in your head what it would have been a nail going to electricity. Whatever he is holding a knife. The same way you have to act and make in your house Gdorim, Bal Yavu, and everyone can do it. This is something you have to analyze. Don't give up and before and after tefillah. Well, everything can be solved with tefillah. We disregard this huge keli that we have, and we don't really recognize the love that God will have from us. We can almost everything obtain through tefillah. Hashem is Zakeinu. By the way, of course, that's what I have to do in practice in your house. But if someone wants to maintain this huge opportunity that Akash Baruch given the schus, everyone has to have a part to support. And that's a segula. When you support, you care about other education. It's a segula that also your kids will be on derech hatoiva.
Torah Umesorah, the early days, it was all about Mesirut Nefesh. Nothing else. That's how they made it. That's how they survived, without money, without anything. In my lifetime, I met a man, Joe Kamenetsky, Alav HaShalom. Joe Kamenetsky worked full-time. It's 24/7 practically for Torah Umesorah. He was a man who spent a big part of his life on buses and railroad stations, sleeping in bus depots and railroad stations, going from city to city, convincing small Jewish communities in every city in this country to open up a day school. Open up a day. He smoked a pipe, I remember. Okay, we used to see him at conventions when he was elderly. And he's just one example of those days of what went on in Torah Umesorah to build this organization where they made sure that there was a day school in almost every single city in this country. Torah is flourishing today in this country, a big part of it, because of Torah Umesorah. We don't have to have that kind of Mesirut Nefesh. All we need to do is give money, Rabotai. That's why we're here today, for money. Of course, we're here, latet kavod la Torah, to the Gedolim that are here, but we need money. What is the budget of Torah Umesorah these days? Hello, Rabbi Bloom. $11 million a year. And now, if you want to know where that money goes, sit down and talk to them, and you'll hear of the various programs to enhance chinuch in this country. An $11 million budget. You boys, you people drive to work, you drive down Ocean Parkway, you see that big building, Torah Umesorah, go in there one day and see what goes on. Okay? They're literally building Torah in this country. And we need money. And the hour is late, so we're not going to waste any more time. Correct? Anything else? Yes? We're going to get to it? Okay.